Hi, I'm Victoria Weiser, and I'm here to talk about my experience communicating with Nationals Park via the Stray Kids concert on June 23, 2025. My Facebook group now has over 700 people, and my Discord server now has over 300 people. These are just a small portion of the over 40,000 people who attended this concert at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. I took it upon myself to contact National Service Team directly. Are we able to bring water or a water bottle? The answer that I received multiple times via email form and as it states on their website, each guest can bring one factory sealed water bottle or one refillable water bottle that is no more than 1 liter and empty upon arrival. After the concert, it was informed to the news media by Nationals Park themselves that it was told to concert goers that we could have 2 bottles of water. This was not communicated to any of us, not in line, not inside, not before, not in emails. Instead, we were screamed at to empty water, to chug water, to throw the bottles out, to dump the water, and some people even had the water bottles ripped from their hands.
I am 6 months pregnant. I brought 1 bottle of water and my husband another, as we were told we could bring. Upon entering, they yanked my bottle out of my bag and tried to take it. We had to talk to a supervisor in order to keep the bottle, which only was reluctantly allowed after they saw that I was pregnant. Upon leaving, they also grabbed my husband physically and tried to pry the water bottle from his hands. This was when no water was available even to be bought. This video shows Stay were the ones passing out waters to fans. In the middle, there's a crowd as people passed out while Stays and medics helped. Checking in, I watched security take empty water bottles, unopened water bottles, and unopened Gatorades and throw them away. Some of us were told we could bring them. Others, me included, told we were not allowed to bring a drink into the stadium. But then they started to close the concession stands, slamming the doors down. We couldn't get water. Instead, they started selling $7 lemonade, not water. When our water started getting low, we just filled them with water from the bathrooms because we were in section 222, where the sun was hitting so hard and the water station was turned off. I watched as venue staff forced people, including myself, to discard their water bottles before they were allowed through the gates. The piles for both full and empty water bottles right outside the gate entrances was beyond horrifying. This forced all of us to have to buy water within the venue. The bottles that I had purchased for my friend and I were listed at $6 each. But I saw multiple inconsistencies with the prices as they eventually went well over $10 as the day went on. My daughter drank some of her water and she was told she could not bring it in. The lady staffing the right field entrance abruptly communicated my daughter could either chug it, an almost full liter of smart water, right there at the entrance, or leave it. Emptying the water bottle was not an option. Free water was not provided to fans in the pit. Our tickets were on the floor, and the only free water I saw being handed out to Stays in the pit were provided by Stray Kids. The water filling station I used at 5:45 was not cold. There was one older staff member concerned about the temperature of the water, but nothing could be done. On the floor, they did have one water station in the pit, but it was filled with room temp water, which quickly got hot before running out entirely. Once it was out, and it was out, water was briefly handed out to 5 to 10 people during sound check, and then not passed out again until the concert. And again, it was only 5 to 10 bottles before they claimed to have run out. Suddenly, there was a lot of water, and all kinds of it. Fiji, Deer Park, Essential, etc. But again, it ran out very quickly. The boys even passed out their own personal waters to people. Unfortunately, it was too late by the time they realized how bad it was. On Saturday, I emailed the venue that afternoon asking if they would allow more than 1 bottle of water listed due to the excessive heat, and never received a reply.
In the early days of planning, Nationals Park told us that the garages would open 2 hours prior to the show. When I investigated further, I asked Nationals Park, what time will the gates open specifically? What time will the parking garages open specifically? They informed me that 2 hours prior to the show, would be 6 p.m. Upon doing math, 2 hours prior to the show meant 8 p.m. So I pressed Nationals Park further, and I asked them, "Do you mean that the show starts at 8 p.m.? Why does my ticket from Ticketmaster directly say 7:30? They informed me that I was wrong, that Ticketmaster was wrong, and that my ticket was wrong, and that the show started at 8 p.m. They assured me that by being in the garage at 6 p.m. gave me ample time to get into the gates and sat in my seat before the show started. I took it upon myself to contact Ticketmaster directly with this information. I was responded to and assured that Nationals Park was then informed that the show started at 7:30, not 8 p.m. I contacted Nationals Park back, telling them of this information with the Ticketmaster screenshot. They informed me that their website was then changed to reflect that the show started at 7:30 and not 8 p.m. It was June 2nd, 2025, that I contacted Nationals about when the garages, lots, and gates would open. It was not until June 18th that we knew that the parking garages and lots would open at 9 a.m. for pass and permit holders.
In Screenshot 1, you will see an urgent notice that was sent out by VIP Nation to the VIP ticket holders 5 days in advance regarding the extreme weather conditions predicted, detailing that, for the safety of yourself and safety of others, please do not arrive on site before 10 a.m. Camping was prohibited by the venue. However, at 8 p.m. the night before the concert, young girls were already lining up and camping out near the home plate entrance on the street in DC. There was no security or signs to remedy this situation. I purposefully waited until being at the venue itself to sign said waivers that we were required to sign. I even packed a pen to do so. I feel waivers like that should be signed hard copy and in person, just my opinion though. But all they did was look at the tickets, clicked a couple of buttons on their tablet screen, and handed us our VIP stuff and wristbands. I was too stressed about making sure I was watching the time and whatnot to think about it at the time. But post-concert, my friend had asked me about the waiver and reminded me that I never once had them say, "Please sign here," and it said I already checked into the event, so essentially, they signed it for us. We were told explicitly not to line up for entry for VIP until 3 p.m. And this was also not enforced by the staff, who were essentially nowhere to be found. By the time I had gotten up closer to the gates, probably with about 12 people in front of me and hundreds of people behind me, it was almost 5 p.m. The venue staff abruptly shut the gates with zero explanation, leaving at least half of the VIP line outside the venue. I saw a good group of people who made it past the bag check area, but were not allowed to enter the venue itself and stuck in limbo between the gates and the venue entry. Roughly half of us VIP holders missed the sound check that we paid extra for, resulting in us having to stand in the heat for longer with no shade and a dwindling water supply. By 3:10, I was sitting in a wheelchair inside with ice packs on my neck. Security mostly ignored me, and I was able to sit inside for a little over an hour before they kicked everyone out before 4:30. While awaiting sound check in Pit 2, 3 more people in the crowd around me went down. 2 were able to sit before they passed out. The third was not so lucky and did experience head trauma when she collapsed. This person began to hyperventilate from the stress.
These are just some of the inconsistencies and miscommunications that we've experienced briefly with Nationals Park. We, Stay, the fandom, were as prepared as we possibly could be. Within my group and my Discord server, we informed everyone by the hour, hydrate with electrolytes, rest, stay in the shade. We prepared the best that we could. Nationals assured us that gates would open 2 hours prior to the show, but line queuing could commence at 3 hours prior to the show. There were people already lining up prior to that 3-hour point. There was no security telling us where we needed to go or how to stay in line. At around 5 p.m., my friend, her sister, and my husband and I ventured out of the parking garage to try to get in line. One security guard outside of the parking garage told us to turn left and go to a side gate instead of right to the main gate, because the main gate and I quote, was very busy. So we turned left to go to a side gate. The side gate had no organization. We didn't know if the line was going to center gate, the side gate, or the home plate gate. There was people funneling in from every direction. There was no organization, no security. We had to push our way into a line and just stay there in hopes that we could get into a line. We did not see the gates open until 5:50 p.m., not 5:30. While we waited for 4 people at a time to go through security out of thousands around us, we watched people drop with seizures, fainting, heat spells, and being wheeled away as slow as possible by the staff of Nationals. We could hear from every gate, let us in, medics, medics, person down, let us in, because of the water bottle policy. Once the line started moving, many of us and those around us dumped our water bottles in hopes that we could get through the gate as soon as possible. We, my friends, and my husband did not get into the gate until 6:50 p.m., even though we were within 20 feet from the gate.
They shut the gates on us for at least an hour and was only letting one person in at a time like it was a TSA checkpoint. Not even the national landmarks throughout the city was this bad to go through security, and how heavy the policies were to the point that no outside drinks were allowed basically.
We tried to make our way to our seats with no guidance from Nationals Park staff. We had to circle the venue back and forth trying to find our space because we could not find it. There was no staff to help guide us to our areas. Once seated, I decided, even though dehydrated, I was going to try and find the restroom again. Around 7:10 p.m., I was walking through the corridor of Nationals Park when all of a sudden I heard, "Move, move, move," by a man behind me. I turn around, and before I could even fathom what was happening, the man hit me in the back of the ankles with an almost empty concessions cart. Was there water on this cart? No. Was there emergency things on this cart? No. It was just concession food. This man was speeding through the corridor of Nationals Park, screaming at people, at concert goers who paid money to be there, to get out of the way. This man did not even give me the chance to get out of the way before ramming me in the back of the ankles with his cart. It was assured in the email conversations that there would be water filling stations as well as cooling stations. My husband and I did not see a single cooling station, nor directions on finding any. We saw one lonely water fountain where hundreds of people were lined up trying to get water.
I found what was a cooling station, a big fan with water being blown through it, but the temperature was so hot and the water and air that were being blown by the fan were also warm, bordering on hot. Not much comfort there.
While seated in our section, my husband and I were in section 133. We watched one vendor with a cooler of water walk down and up one time with ice-cold water. He did not stick around long enough for the entirety of 133 to get any water from them. I wanted to purchase water from them, but I was not able to catch the man in time. Instead, we saw a vendor selling spiked lemonades multiple times throughout the night, prioritizing alcohol over water.
It took my body almost 2 days to even kind of relearn to regulate its temperature. I am still suffering from dehydration even though I've had so much water and electrolytes. I was sweating more than I was taking in.
And many of us can drink as much water as we want, but still feel severely dehydrated. Once the concert started and everyone was in their seats, we were all having a wonderful time. Stray Kids put on a fantastic show, and we were all worried about them. We know their personalities from watching them on TV, on YouTube, on all of the media outlets, and we knew that they were suffering from the heat. We could tell they were not their bubbly selves. We were worried for their safety as much as we were worried for our own.
So today, let's see you guys. We're cooked. Yes, we're cooked. But I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, you guys, without you guys, we would be cooked.
At the first pause of the concert, when leader Chan stopped the concert, that's when we knew things were getting bad.
The final incident for me personally occurred in the second half of the show when I began to get sick. Other attendees around me noticed and were able to get Bang Chan's attention. They got me to the front and his bodyguard was able to pull me over the barricade. That was the first time I experienced helpful staff. All of my thanks go to Bang Chan and Stray Kids for caring about and for us, for noticing people struggling even in the middle of their performance. My thanks goes to the bodyguard who helped me get clear of the crowd, and to the one kind staff member who helped me get somewhere to sit with something to drink, who even opened it for me when my hands were shaking so badly that I could not do it myself.
He's majestic.
People, sense of help, just take a time.
Alright, we'll be back in just a second. We're gonna get things cleaned up. Don't worry, it's not everyone's fault, okay? Don't worry about it. We're just gonna be back and then we're gonna make sure you guys get water and everything. So, just a second, okay? So, everyone's on you?
After the portion where the fans sing along to the songs and dance along to the songs is when the lights turned on. All of the field lights, all of the stadium lights. That is when they informed us that due to a heat emergency, the show has been canceled.
Once the overhead announcement was made that the rest of the concert was canceled for the safety of the fans, a call that I firmly stand by as being the best, the venue's staff made us all leave through one singular exit that had zero airflow. The temperatures never dropped by the time they cut the show early, which was around 10:30 p.m. All gates closed but one upon exiting. Concert goers were abruptly told to leave, and I can verify that we were all ushered out like cattle. The stays were so kind to each other, as everyone unintentionally jostled each other just by walking. Although concert goers entered through many gates, center, home, left, right, first base, third base, etc., we were all made to exit one gate.
Before the concert, I was sweating, fanning myself, and just generally out of breath. During the concert was worse. At one point I got lightheaded and felt dizzy and could feel my heart beating faster than it was supposed to, so I checked it on my Apple Watch and noticed it was 143. I had to squat down, missing part of the show, to get my heart rate to calm down and to just try to cool off. After the concert, however, is where I am still having trouble. I am still not sleeping very well, I am still pretty dehydrated, and my productivity at work has severely slowed.
I want any stay watching this to understand your feelings are valid. We are all angry, we are all jealous, we are upset, we are sad, we are depressed. We were robbed of this show. We were robbed due to the negligence of Nationals Park. Negligence of Live Nation. We were robbed of a show that we will never get back, a show that other stops have gotten and we did not. We will never be able to have that same experience back. Your feelings are valid.
It was miserable. My sister broke her foot. We had happy and sad tears. Sweat was everywhere. Water, nowhere. And yet we had an amazing time. Stray Kids, I'm so thankful for the performance that you gave. The concern on your faces. We could see your human souls from our seats. And I hope that you can feel that back from us. As a baby stay and my first ever K-pop concert, this was a beautiful community filled with people who care so deeply about the members and about each other. I hope you Stray Kids know that nothing was your fault and our upset only lies with the weather and the venue.
Hey Stray Kids, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the DC show. It was absolutely incredible despite the heat. I had so much fun meeting a bunch of different stays and watching you guys try and do your absolute best in the heat. Thank you so much. Hope you guys come again soon.
I would just like to thank Stray Kids for giving us the show of their life and giving us an experience we will never forget. We hope that you come back and we are able to see you again. We want to thank you for putting your own lives on the line and giving us the show that you knew we deserved.
I love the boys, and I'm so thankful for them standing up for us and caring for us.
Cause I